This is Gary Clark Jr. with When My Train Pulls In. From 3 minutes 40 seconds to 5 minutes 22 seconds. This is for a clothing company that I sponsor, Skull Punch. And dude, you have really abstract taste in guitar players. I knew that the first time we did a CVT. This is good stuff. A player I haven't heard, and glad I heard him. Good blues player. Kind of abstract, you know. Tuning is standard. At 3 minutes 40 seconds, what you hear is a E minor chord from the high E string up. It's 7, 8, 9. It's just strumming. Might even be the other guitar doing that, but the first lead that comes in is 343 in, and you'll go 14, 12, DG, and then 13G half step bend. He does a lot of these half step bends, and it's really cool because it gives it a kind of a more of a jazzy feel. Half steps is 1 fret, right? And then 14G. So you're bending the 13 to the 14. And then 14 again. And then 14, 12, half step bend. And then 14, 12. It's kind of a hold, but it passes quick. 14, 12, GB. And then string mute the D string. And then grab 14D and vibrato. So it's 12D, half step bend to 14D. 352 in, we're going to do 12, 15 on the B, and then 12, 14, 12 on the high E, 15, 12 BE, 15, 12 B to 14, 12 GB. So it sounds like this. Shift that index to 12, 14 on the G, and then 12B, vibrato. 14, 12G. Here's that whole run at 3 minutes 52 seconds in. Three minutes 50 seconds in. 14D, 12, 14, 14G. And then go 14, let it ring. And I really like where he goes here. On the G string, go 12, 14, 11 half step bend. And then remember, half step 1 fret, you're just bending it G flat to a G to 14D, vibrato, and then finish this off with 12D, and then 14, 13, 12 on the A, 15, 12E, so it's just a pentatonic, 14D vibrato, 12D rest. Stevie Ray Vaughan type thing. And then 4 minutes 3 seconds in, does this little melodic pattern using octaves. Really cool. 12D to 15B twice, and then rest. And then do it again 3 times. And then finish that off with 14, 12B. So 14G, 12B, and then shift that index up to the G string, go 12, 14, 12, 14 to 12B. So here's the octave section. Four minutes 8 seconds in, you're going to go back to the similar to the 356 timestamp hook. 14D, 12, 14, 14G. Quick rest, 14G ring, then go 14, 12, 14, 16, and then 12G whole step bend. So it's 14D, now whole step, that'd be a 2 fret bend, and then 14D to open A. 4 minutes 14 seconds in, on the B string, 12, then think of it like this, 15B, 12E, 3 times. 15E, half step bend vibrato, so it's, and then 12E rest. On the B string, 12, 15, this is similar to the 352 timestamp. 12, 15B, and then on the E, 12, 15, 12, so it's 15, 12, BE, 15, 12, B, Oops. 14G bend. It's kind of a exaggerated bend. And then 12th fret barred on the E and B. Okay, top of page 3. There's 4 pages in total. 4 minutes 23 seconds in, we're back to a similar hook from earlier. 14D, 12, 14, 14G. And then 14, 12, 14, 16, 12, 14. Sounds like this. So it's D14, 12, 14G. And I love the note choice he used here. On the B, go 11, 12, 3 times. And then 11, 12G. Just love that. The vibe, you don't expect it. On the B, 11, 12, 11, 12. And then 12G. 11, 12, G and B. And then back to the G, 11, 12, 11, 12, 13. So that'll go. Craziness. And then you'll go 12, 13, 14 on the G, and that's the 4 minute 31 second timestamp. On the D, 14, and then on the G, 12, 14, 15, 16. So it's almost a chromatic all the way, but. And then on the D, go 14, 12, 14 G, 12 B. And then shift the index up to 12G. Rather than lift it, I know you keep hearing me say shift, it's almost like a bar, but you got to keep it individual, you know? 15, 17B after that. Then we're going to go on the B string, 15, 12, 15. This is a cool run too. And then 14, 12, GB. 12G half step bend, and then 14, 12 GB. 12G half step bend, 14D vibrato. So let me play that little grouping. Like I said, lots of half steps. There's more half steps than whole steps in here. 14A, 12, 14D. So that's easy enough. 4 minutes, 39 seconds, 14D, 12, 14G. And then this part, really cool too. 11G, kind of rest it, and then pull off open 3 times. So it's, and then 11G, and then go 11th fret on the G 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then 11 pull off to open on the G 24 times. Now, hopefully you don't have to count it. If you do, just think mathematically. 6 times 4 is 24, so you can count in groups of 6 4 times. Or 1. Craziness. And then 12 open on the G, pull off 3 times. It'll go 14G vibrato. 4 minutes 51 seconds in, 14D, 12, 14G, 12B. We did this earlier too. 14G, 15B, 12E. And you can use whatever fingers on that. Particularly here, on those last 3. I like that though. It's really cool, man, what you can do just with 7 notes, you know. 12B, 14G vibrato. 12G half step bend. 14, 12 GB. So it's 4:55 in. We're gonna go 12B 3 times. And then 15B is the first time we've used this so far in this song. Pre-bend release 2 times. So in other words, bend it a whole step, pick, release. See? That's our pitch. Whole step, pre-bend, release. It's a big word for something that probably won't be tough for you. And then 12B. 14 on the G and D, I would go 3rd finger, kind of shift it like we did with our index earlier, to 12G. So it's. And then top of page 4, 14G slide to 16, and then 12B. Do that 3 times. Here it is slow. Now that's cool too, because the note you're sliding to, which is a B note, you end up playing that B note on the 12th fret on string number 2. Alright, from there, 12th fret on the B twice, and then 15-12 half step bend. And then 15-12 B E, so it's 15B bend to 12E, so that's a unison bend. 12-15B bend to 12E, 15 bend on the B to 12E. So let's do a little bit of that. We have then next line down, 12-15B, 12 on the E and B. Then back to the 15B bend to 12E. So that sounds like this. And you could downpick all this, that's another cool thing. It's kind of all moderate tempo. 12B, and then 5 minutes 2 seconds in 15E bend. As you're bending it, hold it and pick it 4 times. So bend 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bend and pick twice 3 times. In other words, 1, 2, 3. So that whole part. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 15E bend, and then 15 vibrato on the E. 507 timestamp. 12E and B, kind of shift again, and then go on the E. 12, 14, 12. 15B, so it's 14, 12 GB. Shift up with the index to 12, 14 G to 14D, 12B, half step bend release. Let me do that whole 507 run. (14, 11 G), and then 11 G half step bend release. 14, 12 D to 14 G vibrato. Let's take it from that. That's 5 notes, or 6 notes. And then 14, 12 D to 14 G vibrato, just a tag off of that last line. Okay, 12 G, 14, 12 D, 14 G vibrato. You can do that 4 times, or 2 times. It sounds like this. Okay, 12 G, 14, 12 D, 14 G, slide to 16. So we have, let's do that, just that run. 12 hammer, 14 G vibrato. Cool run. The hammer's fast. 5 minutes 19 seconds in. It's our last timestamp. 12 G bend, whole step, and then 14 slide to 16, and then go 12, 14, 12. So that's, now it's a half step bend at the beginning. Oops. 11 G half step bend release. 12, 14 on the D and the A. 12 on the D and A to an open E. So the 519 timestamp slow is. All right, great stuff, man. Thanks for being patient. I've been swamped with CVTs, but should be able to surprise you and get this up live tonight and get these tabs sent to you. Thanks, dude.